Welcome to the Scottish borders. The Eildon Hills provide a picturesque backdrop to a history-making day as international rugby comes to the delightful town of Galashiels for the very first time. Spain and Uruguay definitely two of the minnows of this '99 World Cup. It's the biggest day in the sporting lives of these Uruguayan rugby players. This is the culmination of a dream for them. They came through 9 matches to make it here to Netherdale, where they've been playing rugby since 1875, but they've certainly never had a day like this one before in this particular part of the Scottish borders. And the man there, you're looking at Diego Ormachea. What a day for him. There, a pat on the back for a 40-year-old, the venerable Ormachea. But he's sprightly enough, and he'll lead from the front. As Alberto Malo leads out their opponents this afternoon, Spain. It's only 5 weeks since they last met in a tournament in Italy. Uruguay came out on top on that day by 20 points to 3. Malo wants a reversal of that score on the occasion of his 73rd cap. The word is that he'll retire at the end of the season. And ditto Ormachea of Uruguay. They've been two great servants for their countries. The Uruguayan pack also includes some excellent players like Pablo Lemoyne, who plays his rugby at Bristol, and who is a big pal of Gustavo Poyet, the Chelsea midfield player, who was a school chum of his. And Lemoyne certainly is the most celebrated Uruguayan rugby player of his time and the only professional in their team. The rest a collection of farmers, bankers, lawyers. The Spanish do have 4 full-time players. And now the two teams will line up for the traditional anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem, Spain. The national anthem on Uruguay.
So cheering for the Spanish anthem, and they will move across the line for Uruguay. rousing rendition of the anthems. But now the scene set for what promises to be a very, very close game. The 100th match in World Cup finals history played here at the delightful setting of Netherdale. They've never had a day like this one before, and two teams so closely matched but both extremely optimistic, especially the Uruguayans, who beat Spain only 5 weeks ago in a tournament in Italy by 20 points to 3 on that occasion. So they fancy their chances of a repeat. The Spaniards believe that revenge is very much within their capabilities. And a nice crowd here as we look at the two lineups. The Uruguayan side will certainly be led from the front by Diego Ormaechea, 40 years of age, the oldest man in the World Cup, and today winning his 62nd international cap. And they have plenty of pace in the backs with Chiara, top man at scrum half. And it will be Spain who get the game underway with the English referee Chris White from Cheltenham, the official here in the yellow and grey outfit, the first time he's been to the Gala ground. And, they've had plenty to celebrate here at this particular club recently. They won the second division, the Scottish Cup and the Selkirk Sevens last year. They also won last night, I'm told, and currently top of the division. And the first penalty awarded by the referee, Chris White, and Scott Hastings alongside me. Very nervous moments, as we saw with the Welsh yesterday. It took them some time to settle.
In many respects, this is the World Cup for both these teams, but the conditions here at Gala at Netherdale are absolutely superb, and I think we're looking forward to an open game. We know the Uruguayan strength is up front, but there's some exciting, talented players, but a missed kick there.
That was a terrible kick, and it allowed Freixia, the full-back, to make a good 15 yards, and there's good clean ball here as well for Spain. Well, the wind might be troublesome today, but there is an excellent catch going back by Cardoso. Makes his mark. And the Uruguayans have been here for the best part of a week now. They all went shopping yesterday, interestingly enough. They've been staying in Peebles, and the fellas preferred to go shopping rather than train. They thought they'd done enough already. That's a better kick. Diego Aguirre, who plays for the Carrasco Polo Club, very much the top side in Uruguay. They lost a match in June for the first time in 7 years. I don't think he'd fancy playing against them. Oh, the whistle will sound again there. Going straight. Scrum awarded by Chris White, who interestingly enough doesn't speak a word of Spanish. Well, there might be the odd word. He says he knows 10 is D. I think that's one number he's picked out. Well, he's wanting them to reform here. It'll be interesting actually, because many of the Spanish and Uruguayans who speak the same language, very few of them actually speak English.
That's right. What's going to be interesting in this scrum is it's the first scrum of the game. It's going to be an interesting struggle here. The Uruguayan, obviously, that's where the strength. But Kovalenko there at fly half, he kicked the first ball in possession.
The relative weights, as you can see there.
Well, that's what we're talking about, the Uruguayan strength there in the scrum. Obviously, they pull one against the head there, and it's the Uruguayan put-in.
Oh, plenty of whistle in the early moments of this game. There has been in just about every one of the matches, and in the build-up to the match, much of the talk has been about officialdom and how the players will adapt to the rules, which constantly seem to change. They went in with a thump and a roar there. Chiara looking for the ball to come clean, but it never did do, and it's a scrappy, untidy start to the game. This time it looks as though the ball will be coming out to Chiara.
A basic mistake there from the Uruguayans, but this is the type of thing. There's a settling in period. We've seen 2 scrums collapse there. It's been a nervy start from both teams. They just obviously want to just gain that possession, create second and third phase and take it from there.
Casta going straight. The referee put the whistle to his lips and then didn't blow it, so it's afforded Spain the opportunity to make progress here through the giant flanker Jose Diaz. The Uruguayans in particular have been working on their scrimmaging. Well pleased with the progress that his side has made. Daniel Herrera, the very young coach, he's just 37. Just trickles over the line with Pablo Costabile seeing it out. If anything, Spain have perhaps started slightly the brighter of the two.
Alonso saved things there. They were actually under pressure. The Uruguayans showing good defence in numbers, but Alonso put a great kick there into the Uruguayan 22.
Throw from Diego Lamalas. Goes for the gloriously named Champagne Club. That is good clean ball for Uruguay. Out on the full. And the kicking game, Scott's going to be crucial, I feel, this afternoon.
Especially with the blustery conditions. Aguirre there off the left foot. It looks as though he's predominantly left-footed. I wonder if the Spanish team will start to try and put him under pressure as the game goes on. But good clearance there. What we want to try and see is just the elimination of these errors that have crept into the first few minutes of the game.
I'm sure one or two were nervous in the minutes leading to the kick-off. And well, it looks as though it might well have been offside there. Carlos Soto, but there was indeed a knock-on. Bright sunlit afternoon here in the borders. Beautiful conditions, actually. It's just the wind that's a problem. It
is. The Spanish number 10, Kovalenko, he's noted for his kicking, and he actually might put Cardozo at fullback for the Uruguayans under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, for Uruguay, however, with Olmachea, the captain has predicted leading. And good ball from Chiara. They do have a weight advantage, the Uruguayans, and they are fleet of foot at the back. So far, they're not being allowed to run it. Some keen Spanish tackling.
Interesting enough, Chris White, the referee, he's playing the preventative rules. He's obviously speaking to the players. He's obviously in English. I don't know how many of them are picking up his comments.
Not more than a couple, but there is a universal language, I suppose. They do have great mutual respect for one another, these two sides. Basically because they're all part-time players, with the odd exception. The kick through and the chase here important to that Cardozo. Well, he picked up all right, but he's harried and pushed back towards his own line, and the whistle will sound. And the referee's arm raised, Spanish advantage. And they're going to run it and take it quickly.
Well, out of Spain, I would just go for the 3 points, you know, just to get the points on the board.
Well, that's what you would have thought, and in fact, yes. The old head, Malo, comes in and says to his goal kicker, Kovalenko, come on, let's have the points on the board. Just for a moment, they thought of running it, didn't they?
Yeah, they might be tempted to go for the 5-point try, but Kovalenko's a well-known goal kicker, so he's fine there. Interesting enough, actually, although Uruguay got back in that ball, they transgressed by going over the top and killing the ball. They didn't allow the Spaniards the opportunity to get the ball back, and Chris White quite rightly awarded Spain the penalty.
So Andrei Kovalenko nudges Spain in front here at Galashiels. It was important to get the first points on the board, and Kovalenko, who was missing in that recent defeat by Uruguay due to injury, says he's back and he's fit, he's ready for the World Cup, and it's his stage, he reckons. And a rendition of Viva España, I think from Scottish supporters rather than Spanish in front of us. That was predictable. His left foot again. Doesn't look the most convincing of kickers at the moment. Aguirre. Carrasco, he's getting his 30th cap today. He's an experienced player. There's a good deal of experience in this Uruguayan side, and that was a good take by Panizza. First little skirmish that we've had inside the Spanish half. Lame was lending his muscle to the fray there. Kicked through by Chiara. He actually scored more than 100 points in the qualifying matches. Long kick. Take by Perez. Nice spinning ball. Kovalenko underneath it. This looks a good kick. It looks a very good kick. It's a perfect kick, in fact. Very enterprising indeed. The Spanish starting as brightly as the weather.
Interesting, another kick there from Alonso, just relieving the pressure, putting Uruguay under pressure, and that's his second good kick into the corner. Excellent play by Alonso.
Alonso has come to the fore in recent weeks, actually, keeping out a couple of far more experienced men. Mr. Bria on the bench. Referee happy with that line out. Such an important game for these two because they recognise that there's going to be nothing for them in the next two matches. The early evidence is that they are very closely matched. Penalty awarded for Uruguay. They do run it quickly, and this is bright. This is excellent play. Storming run from Vecino. Important for the Uruguayans to get some points on the board, having fallen behind early. Another penalty here for Uruguay against the Spaniards, just in a little too keenly. I think it was Sergio Soto. Well, that was the break. A lovely one too. Some very strong running from the centre Mendaro. Well, he's finding his range now. Here we go, Aguirre. Had a birthday last week, he was 25. Been a regular since his debut 2 seasons ago. I think this is the furthest upfield the Uruguayans have come so far.
And they've got the put in at the line out here.
That's a good take. The man up high was Mario Lame. Possession kept by Van Baffel. Who doesn't play for the Carrasco Polo Club. Woof, spinning around there was Jose Miguel Villau. Well, he really came shooting round into the scene of it. Villau, watch out for him, there he goes. He seems to have pretty good control of it, despite his lack of Spanish. It's a good push by the Uruguayan pack, controlling the football.
Well, we've talked about it already. We've seen this Uruguayan number 8. They obviously are strong, and especially off the line out there, they did a lot of rolling mauls, but obviously their strength is in the scrum there, and they'll be looking to dominate throughout the whole game.
Well, he's played international rugby for more than half his life. He made his debut back in 1979. 62 test matches. And still loving his rugby as much as ever. What a time to savour a big occasion like this one. At the age of 40. Same again, the referee's instruction is to the two packs here. I'm sure the crowd here at Netherday are looking for some open attacking and flowing rugby, but at the moment it's pretty tight. We just had the one Uruguayan break. Well, they're gradually getting there.
Well, if they had another 10 scrums like that, they could actually go for a pushover. But no, I'm sure they, just out of shot here, we've actually got the Uruguayan back team. They're lying very deep in the ball. Their winger's actually back on the halfway line. So an interesting backs move, I'm sure, if Ormachia lets the ball out the back of the scrum. There we go, there's the shot. Now look at the fullback and the winger standing back in the halfway line. So obviously a move coming on in the backs.
Uruguay without a point to their name so far in this 99 World Cup finals. Now here they do go with Ormachea. Leon says referee White. And here it comes. The ball is spun out to Aguirre. Again, Aguirre in the heart of the movement, and then carrying it forward is Lemoyne, the Bristol-based man. Aguirre, 3 times in the move. There's a gap opening on the right. If they can keep it coming here, it might just be something for Uruguay. The interception was made by Basquite, and Spain hold on.
Wonderful switch there by Aguirre. And Spain were actually just caught offside, intercepted the pass, but Chris White, the referee, adjudged that Spain were offside, and Uruguay have an opportunity now through Aguirre to level the scores at 3-all.
Mano has taken over kicking responsibilities from Chiara. 2 conversions and 2 penalties so far in the World Cup qualifiers. The man from Carrasco. He also collected 8 points against Spain in that recent victory in Italy. So only just assumed responsibility in his 30 test matches. This to bring the scores back level. So Diego Aguirre suits his left boot. The ball sails between the posts, and Uruguay have it back at 3-3. And the constant pressure paid off. It had its rewards.
Well, we saw the Uruguayans there. They put Spain under pressure through the scrum. They picked up at number 8. They drove again, and when they switched play there through Aguirre, it was a wonderful move that resulted in Spain being caught offside.
Ball hoisted in the direction of the Heriot-Watt University, which is another of the backdrops to this delightful ground in Galashiels. Not a good kick this time, and who's underneath it? Malo's underneath it. Bad Bertie, that's what his name means, Alberto Malo, Bad Bertie. He laughs about it himself. Now Kovalenko with a kick which spins off the outside of the boot, but fortunately for him it just eludes that figure of Diego Lamalas, so it's picked up in the end by Cardoso. Good turn of pace shown by the flanker Soto.
Just a judge forward there. Good positioning by the referee, Chris White.
No doubt about the validity of the verdict, though. The put-in for Uruguay. We've got quite a healthy crowd here now. There has been talk of it being up to 5,000, maybe even a record crowd for this gala field. As Aguirre makes a half break. It will be still Uruguay's ball, though. There was no knock on there. There might be something opening up down the left. Now let's see what pace the left wing Costabile has. Uruguay gaining in confidence. Joining in again the giant figure of Lemoyne. His experience very much to the fore. It's taken on by Panizza. Desperate defending for the Spaniards required now as Aguirre figures in the move once more. And plunging for the line is Lemoyne. Well, that was much better from Uruguay there. Certainly settling into the match, and Lemoyne leading from the front.
Oh, great use of the ball there. The crowd thoroughly enjoy that. This guy's actually quite a size, isn't Lemoyne? Unfortunately, knocks it on there, lost possession, but that was about 6 or 7 phases of play there that Uruguayans strung together, and they actually look quite dangerous.
Well, I can tell you, Scott, that figure of Lemoyne is the biggest in the World Cup. He's jointly the heaviest man here. He weighs over 20 stone. I'm
just glad I'm not out there trying to tackle him.
I'm sure you could convert it into kilo.
Interestingly enough, at the start of that movement, it was Sciarra, who was absolutely superb. He gave a great pass out to Aguirre, who got the movement going, and good handling by the Uruguayan back division there.
Well, the feeling persists now that Uruguay are just getting on top in the game. It is a Spain put in. Was misconstrued that. In fact, the free kick goes to Uruguay. I think Spain thought that they'd got something themselves there. And it is number 10 DF, whose name he knows, who is telling to move away. Here come Uruguay now, predictably with Lemoyne. Scrum down.
Well, this will be interesting. This is within striking distance of that Uruguayan 8, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try go for the pushover here.
Spot on. It's absolutely set up perfectly right beneath the sticks. They've got the weight advantage, as we've seen from every scrum so far. Their weight, and then the ball will go in from the hands of Sciarra, and there is the push. They're not making much ground though. Now they do. Well, the whistle will foil them initially. I still have the chance.
And no doubt again they'll go for another pushover here.
Yeah, it's bit by bit, isn't it? Inch by inch they power forward. The crowd urging them on. There's the whistle again. And, thought of a quick take.
I was going to say, if I was the captain, I'd scrummage again, and the Ormatier has allowed his 8 to go for this pushover again. They've certainly got Spain on the rack here.
There's the huge figure of Diego Ormatier. What a fairy story it would be if the oldest man in the World Cup was to score Uruguay's first try ever in the finals. There they go. Just wheeling round.
Well, once again, I'd actually call for the scrum because they certainly got them under pressure. If there's another collapse here, I'm sure Chris White will maybe be thinking about a penalty try.
Well, you'd think there have to be a happy ending to this particular chapter, wouldn't you? Talk about getting there inch by inch. But, there is a stoppage here for an injury. The old magic spray has been called for down there. Let's see. The hooker, De La Callier. He's right in the middle of all that massive bodies. They need him to be fit. Eventually the physiotherapists take their leave of us. And is this the cue for the first try of the afternoon? Here is the push. Before the referees had another blast on that whistle of his. I think we've heard more of the whistle than anything.
No, the scrum has got to be settled before the scrum half can feed, so we'll re-scrum again. Here we go.
In from Sciarra. They do push in for those Spaniards, and they're going for the pushover try. Watch for the referee's arm to be raised. Uruguay in front. And eventually, Ormatier may well be the one who's got the ball in his grasp. It is the fairy story we were talking about. And Diego Ormatier, the captain of Uruguay, scores their first ever try in World Cup finals. Who wrote that one?
Well, I thought he'd be singing and dancing there and at least have a smile on his face, but not that time. But great control, and we've talked since the start of the game about the strength of this Uruguayan pack, but that was a great scrum. Nice and straight, over he goes. Still had a little bit of work to do at the end. Good try for Uruguay, they'll be pleased about that.
He doesn't show much emotion, does he? But the man who got 8 tries in the World Cup qualifiers gets the first one here at Gala Shields. So his 9th try in 62 test matches. He's getting the knack. Perhaps he'll play for another 20 years. And that was important. And now they've handed over to Chiara for the goal-kicking duties. Sweet as a nut. So the points added, and Uruguay, having trailed in the early stages to Kovalenko's penalty, now nudge themselves ahead.
Here we see once again, good body position, good pick up there, and Chiara actually helped his captain over the line. But also great tactics there from Uruguay. The left-footed Aguirre, playing at number 10, actually didn't kick that goal. It was Chiara off the right foot and nailed the conversion.
So Uruguay into double figures. And back in possession too. Picked up by Frasciglia. Been pretty good discipline from these sides so far. I think this discipline is a key element in this World Cup. I've seen Uruguayan soccer sides who've suffered from lack of discipline over the years. Just talking to some of them yesterday, I was asking whether they fancied their chances of becoming as famous in their own country as Gustavo Poyet and all the famous soccer players there have been, Francescoli and Sosa over the years, and they say, well, there is a lot of interest now in Uruguay in this World Cup. Without a doubt, and obviously whichever team wins this fixture, there'll be front page news back home. Aguirre with a dropout then. Straight out though. Well, that's put Spain in a very good position to sort of counter back from the try they've just lost. With 15 minutes of the first half still remaining here at Netherdale. Really is a lovely setting on a day like today. It's nice to know that the World Cup just doesn't touch places like Murrayfield and Twickenham and Cardiff. It comes to the likes of Gala Shields. Penalty awarded for Uruguay, and then the ball spilled. Wasted a good position momentarily, but they will have the free kick. Yeah, the referee adjudged there that Spain weren't back 10 yards, and we've got Aguirre now kicking for touch. Ball's gone backwards. Well, that just shows you actually the strength of the wind. It is quite blustery out there, and that was certainly a difficult kick towards touch, which he slightly sliced, but Uruguay have got possession here on their own 10-yard line, and will be again looking perhaps to just take it through the forwards here, just to drive it upfield. Ramos with the throw. Three quarters nicely lined up, but the ball won't come to them just yet. I'll have to wait a while, and now it will come out. Once more, the boot of Aguirre. He's an important player for them, Diego Aguirre. Here we see the lineouts here. Uruguay obviously have won the 5, but they've been putting Spain under a little bit of pressure. Who've actually lost one of those lineouts. Again, the referee happy that it was straight. Maybe he's taking the wind into account. It's not easy by any means. You sometimes don't get the feel from the gantry of just how tricky it is. The whistle will sound again. It's come down with advantage Spain here. Red ball. Well, Spain lost another line out there. The ball went back, but they're all working off slow ball. You can see how the wind is playing havoc here. Certainly with the flags. It is an important factor. Well, we are blessed with quite a nice day. It's actually warmed up a little bit from this morning.
Certainly a little bit warmer up here in the commentary box. We're above the pitch, a magnificent view here, and what a great day.
It's come down putt in Spain. If they understand up you come, up you come, up you come, which is exactly what Chris White was saying to these international rugby players. Spain, by the way, started at 5,000 to 1. There's the first half possession, and heavily in favour of Uruguay now, and yet it took them 10 minutes or so to get going, which just shows how they are increasing their momentum, and maybe that's a worrying factor for Spain with the second half to come.
Obviously these Uruguayans are loving their scrummaging at the moment, because they're having to ask Spain to re-scrum again.
Penalty against the Spaniards this time. Holding on.
The front row, Camps and Zapatero, up against two very good scrummagers in Sanchez and Limoni.
There is the man, Lemoyne. There's a heavy weight of expectation on him from Uruguay. They think that he may well be the pioneer for many more to follow him into professional rugby.
He's also got himself around the park today, actually. We've seen him take off that second, third face ball off his scrum half, Sciarra.
The space between the two lines. That's good. Good play this time from Uruguay. There might well be chances if they can move this one swiftly. Coming into the line there was Sanchez. Well, it's not free-flowing rugby, but it's interesting because the Spaniards, you feel, are just hanging on a little bit at the moment.
Well, it's good defence as well. They put the pressure on there, and Combs obviously, Sanchez spilled the ball there out the tackle, so possession onto Spain.
Attacked there by Alonso. That's better, and there might be a running opportunity down that left touchline for Bastide. The kick ahead now, the kick and chase. Referee says play on, and falling on the ball and doing his job, Cardoso. Penalty given. Well, this is their opportunity now. And, it's lifted the Spanish contingent just in front of us. Well, they try now, or even 3 points from the boot would be very handy with half-time approaching. I think Alberto Malo again says, come on, take the points.
Interestingly enough, we actually saw the Uruguayans kill ball off the first ball there, and Kovalenko slotted the first points of the game. When Uruguay killed the ball, they killed the ball there again.
Malo talking to his players. He commands enormous respect. In fact, you probably know this, Scott. His own hero was John Jeffrey.
He is an outstanding character. I've actually played and met him many times. A great fan of the Hong Kong Sevens, has played in the Hong Kong Sevens for a number of years. And actually, about 9 years ago, he had a spell in New Zealand, learning his trade out there with Manawatu. So a hugely experienced character. And he's actually got hands the size of frying pans. He's a great inspiration for Spain, and at 35 years of age, he's getting around the park as well.
Kovalenko has been pretty quiet in the loose play so far, but he can win a match with his boot.
He's a very good kicker. I saw him play against Scotland in the qualifying competition back in December last year, and he certainly is a good kicker of the ball.
Flags will not be raised this time. He's a former soccer player too in the Ukraine. Turned to rugby at quite a late age. He's been in Spain for the last 6 years. Failed to kick that one. So the Uruguayans have a charmed life. Aguirre gives a signal. Very cleverly done. Nice little ploy that. It's those giant hands that you call frying pans that are there. Another great shove by the Uruguayans. So definitely using their superior weight to advantage now. Taken in by Uruguay. So they'll have the advantage.
Interesting enough there, I just thought Fricilla and Malo, they didn't really communicate with each other there. They allowed the ball to bounce, and then suddenly the Uruguayan pack, look how strong they're working there. Look at the leg positions, the drives. As Lemeoni come in, he added an extra bit of weight. Good play by Uruguay.
Working as a unit, now around on the blind side goes Sciarra. It's okay, says the referee, so they'll continue. To the 20-metre line. Chip ahead. Just missed it as it came back. There's a knock on though.
Well, Sciarra should have kept that in the hand there. He gave away possession there. Good pressure again from the Uruguayan 8.
Well, they know they're not going to beat Scotland or South Africa, but today is the one that they both want to win so badly. Their one chance of World Cup glory. This is Kovalenko scragged around the neck. He needs support. When it comes to the fair-haired figure of Enciso, finds an excellent touch. So 10-3 it is, Uruguay in front with 5 minutes of the half remaining, plus whatever time he's added. I've been talking about the setting here. Now I think we've got a crowd of 4,000 or 5,000 maybe at the Gala ground. These are good times for this club. I think it was all Watsonians that beat, wasn't it, last night, Scott?
That's right, I was playing in that game. We were beaten, unfortunately, 27 points to 24 in the BT SRU National Leagues. But this is a great ground, actually, and they've improved the pitch, and I'm sure the players are enjoying the surface and the atmosphere, which is adding to the occasion.
Well, you just got a glimpse of the crowd, and a very colourful occasion too. They've been looking forward to this World Cup for so long, and then all of a sudden it's upon everybody. And now we're right in the midst of it, just as we're in the middle of this match. Spain and Uruguay, good switch of play here. Oh, he just couldn't hold on to the ball, Perez. Well, they have got the one try of the half.
Well, if you watch this movement here, actually, Aguirre gives the ball. Kovalenko just about intercepted that ball and could have been down the other end of the pitch.
Perez who spilled it. Kovalenko's actually never scored a try, although he's the top point scorer with his goal kicking. Here he is now, however, and he will kick straight downfield to be met by Cardoso. Gets away from the first tackler, just about. Just taken by the ankle. And now they do have chances. Oh, he maybe took the wrong option there. Kicking straight into the hands, the welcoming arms of Malo. It shows he's got pace, the rampaging bull on his way down the left. He's probably relieved to hear the whistle. He didn't want to have to go too far. Well, that just shows the enthusiasm of the man at 35.
He really is quite a character. He's got huge experience, as I mentioned earlier on, playing the Hong Kong Sevens, but that's good body positioning, protecting the ball well there. Great camera work just to show you how he positioned himself there in the contact situation. Made his debut 14 years ago against Poland. But of course more teams competing in this World Cup than ever before, 20 teams, and it's good to see the likes of Spain and Uruguay getting their chances, and no doubt in another 4 years' time we may well see Poland or Chile or Germany, who knows. The 60 nations taking part initially. Here is Malo again, trying to get Spain across that white line into Uruguayan territory. Kovalenko, the longer ball thrown out this time. Oh, and a crunching and an excellent tackle on the fullback
straight into Omachea. Oh, the interception was by Sanchez. Uruguay trying to move the ball more swiftly. Sometimes it's very difficult for a referee to spot all these infringements. So much for him to think about.
One of the problems is when you get players collapsing onto the ground, that's where we get the contact in the difficult situations. Great interception there, though, by Sanchez, stopped the Spanish attack. I'm just trying to see here where the penalty was actually committed. It's not clear, though, but this is what happens, is that when you get the tackler going onto the deck, you're followed in by 2 or 3 others. Suddenly, we can't release that ball. And there hasn't been too much second or third or fourth phase ball from either team today. And as we've seen from the tactics of the Uruguayan team, they are quite content actually keeping it in the forwards, rumbling off the lineouts, driving play off scrummage ball. And we have really seen very little open back play in this game so far.
I think that may be attributable to the fact that both of them do regard it as their cup final. They don't want to make mistakes. This is the one they want to win. They know it's the only one they can win. Good kick from Kovalenko. So the line out today, Spain having 1-3 and lost 2, Uruguay 8-1. Got into the line, did Panizza, but means that the penalty is awarded Spain's way. And Malo, as the captain, has another decision to make here. But, again, the physiotherapist out because there's treatment required by Jordi Camps. He's down on the deck at the moment. There's Camps winning his 26th cap today, a man with 3 tries already this year. But it will be a penalty opportunity for Kovalenko.
Now if we look at the line in there, number 4 there for Spain, Villale, his arm was actually pulled from the ball. You see the referee signalling there, that arm was pulled, so he wasn't able to actually gain possession.
Important kick this for Spain. Trailing by 7 points. They would be just 4 behind if this goes over. Spinning high and spinning straight through the middle. Excellent. Didn't kick the last one, but he's kicked this one okay. That's 2 out of 3 for Kovalenko.
Well, I would suggest that's a crucial kick at this stage of the game. Absolutely nailed this one between the sticks. Good kick, Kovalenko.
What a good time for a score. Sets us up for the second half. It's going to be tight. Well, intent and a bit more war paint going on in the crowd. We'll wash it off again in another 50 minutes or so. Both teams have thoroughly enjoyed their stay in Scotland. They were delighted when they were drawn in the group up here. Not so delighted with some of the opposition, maybe. It's a bit stiff for them. Here's one hoisted high, good take by Perez. Touch judge's flag raised. And the referee points to the dressing rooms, an absorbing first half. Uruguay in charge at the moment, but the only try of the half going to the oldest man on the field, 40-year-old Diego Omachea. After a succession of scrums, got them to the Spanish line. Omachea able to fall on the ball, and that was the one try of the half. So it's going to be a good second half. Everything to play for. It's Spain 6, Uruguay 10. There's a little signal there from Diego Aguirre, the fly half, as we get underway again. And it's picked up by Malo. He was such a key figure in that first half, and no doubt it'll be the same in this half too. There wasn't a lot of clean ball either side. Kovalenko with the kick. A very good catch by a spectator beneath us here. Kovalenko, I think you feel Scott could be quite an influential figure in the remainder of this game.
We talked about his kicking skills. We just felt that perhaps if he just got the ball moving a little bit more, the Spanish backs, by bringing in for Chile at fullback, they might have an opportunity. But I think the two key players out of Spain so far are certainly the captain Malo and Kovalenko that we've just talked about.
The ball went forward from the Uruguayan hand. So Spain will have the put in at the penalty, at the scrum. There it is.
Well, a bit of a harsh decision I would have felt there from the referee, John White, but the call's been made and it's Spain's put in at the scrum.
We have got Alonso. The referee again unhappy. Well, he points out the offender. There you see who it is. It's Sergio Soto from Oviedo. He's a customs officer, so he's stopped a few people in his time.
Well, Soto was adjudged by taking the scrum down. Dangerous sort of play there from the Spaniards, but that's the pressure that's coming through from this Uruguayan front row.
Touch found this time by Aguirre. What the Spanish can't afford to do is to let themselves get pushed back towards their own line, as happened when Ormaechea scored the one try of the half.
Well, Uruguay there in the statistics showing that they're dominating the lineouts.
Good. They win another one. Roll the ball. And now they will fling it out, and this huge man again in the action, Lemoyne, but they've counteracted him well. Comes the other way this time. The break made by Sanchez. Joining in is the hooker Lamalas. It went that time from Aguirre. Looking a little more promising this for Uruguay as they get themselves into position and the penalty is awarded their way. Sometimes it's a little obscure why the penalties are awarded.
Good tackle there by Kovalenko, but let's see if we can see the error here. Here you see, look at the hands on the ground there. That's what the referees are pointing to. So it was handling on the deck, and the referee, Chris White, was right there. He said, handling on the deck, penalty against Spain.
And because of the angle, they look to the right boot this time of Chiara. It's very handy, Scott, when you've got two kickers, actually, one right-footed and one left-footed, bearing in mind the angles of kicks.
Well, it's also a very sensible use of resources, actually, and with this blustery conditions today, it's proving vitally important.
So this to re-establish the 7-point advantage that Uruguay once held in the first half. And Chiara's made a hash of it. He has. Straight into the arms of Enciso. Dash down the touchline for Bastide. Good catch made by Perez. Bundled out over the touchline. So we'll have the line out. It's a disappointing kick, actually, in the end, that penalty by Chiara.
It was, but it was also good play from Spain. The missed penalty of Chiara, and they moved the ball off their own goal line to just short of the halfway line.
That one is seen as being straight. It's Spanish hands taking on the ball. Not straight, I thought it wasn't.
Yeah, the ball went well down the Spanish line there.
It was a belated decision. So, scoreline remaining at 10-6 in Uruguayan favour. And now the break made by Ormaechea. They've started the second half better than they started the first. I thought it took Uruguay a little while to settle in this game. Little chip over the top from Aguirre. Straight though into Spanish hands once more. Off, and then when it's reversed, following through was Aguirre, and Uruguay might have chances with Ormaechea again involved. Cheru's he's a vet back home in Montevideo. One or two thoroughbreds in the Uruguayan side. They've been together for some time now. A lot of caps between them. Laume, for example, winning his 50th cap today, and it's the chip through by Perez. Cardoso took it, tried to scythe his way between two Uruguayan players moving forward. Kovalenko. Nice dummies from him. And then Malo gets that one away. Taken on this time by Villau. Kovalenko spreading it this time. Opening up on the right, but Fiso unable to get it away. Now the break is on. The kick ahead is important here. Leading the charge is Freshila. Can he get there? Important moments these for Uruguay to defend. And defend they do, and very well too by Costabile. But applause ringing around Netherdale for this movement from Spain, which was led by Enciso.
And a super kick there, actually, to just put Uruguay under pressure. Well, they did actually go for the same ball. I thought the Spaniard there, Frechilla, had actually gone down on the Uruguayan. Would have been a penalty, but referee adjudged that the ball was both being played by the same player.
Okay. Spain have the ball. Another points ahead for them. Kovalenko, reverse ball inside. It was taken on by Ripoll. Oriol Ripoll. And the advantage called for Spain and Kovalenko. Oh, the interception there. And if he'd taken that one cleanly, there would have been a run to the other end of the field by Vecino.
Well, there was no attempt to actually go for the ball there. It was just purely stop the try. But the referee had adjudged that Uruguay were actually offside from the previous play, and Kovalenko here has a great opportunity for just slotting a simple goal and another 3 points. Spain have actually started this second half quite well. They've been very enterprising. They seem to have moved the ball a little bit. Kovalenko's options of play have been putting the ball through the hands. We've seen some good work from the backs, and it's actually opened up a little bit.
So 2 out of 3, this to make it 3 out of 4. Simple enough. And they nudge just a little closer to Uruguay now. Moves them on to 9, and they're within a point of the old enemy. The majority of the crowd here seem to be behind Spain. Uruguay have actually got 50 or 60 supporters who've come over from France to support them. It's all red and blue in front of us as the catch is made by De La Callier. Kovalenko getting much more of the ball in this half than he did in the first, and this is excellent play from Spain. The charge through the middle, it's taken on here by the big figure of number 7, Soto. It's a run to the line for Carlos Soto. They're just about nail him. But as Scott Hastings was saying there, Spain are coming right to the fore in this game, and they're right back in it with a vengeance.
Well, that's been the best passage of this game today from Spain. Wonderful passing there. Kovalenko sent the whole movement off deep in his own half.
There's a little bit of a dispute going on out there between Malo, a man who I particularly wouldn't argue with, and Alonso, who keeps wanting to run it from penalties. But that was the break made. Terrific run as well from Carlos Soto, the elder of the brothers.
You'll just see there, that's why the penalty was there. Soto had the ball, but the Uruguayans are over the top. They just killed that ball outright. And Kovalenko here has an opportunity of sticking the Spaniards ahead.
For the first time since the early minutes, he did put them 3 points to the good. Now Spain regain the lead at 12 points to 10. 2 penalties in 2 minutes from the Ukrainian. But we're seeing much more running rugby in this half, Scott.
Absolutely, the game's just opened up. Look at this, Kovalenko feints, he then gives the pass, and Chiso, wonderful run in there from Lubzenz. Suto in support, this is a good dummy, look at this, good handoff there. Excellent running, deep into 22. Good tackle from Cardozo from Uruguay, but the hands went over and spoiled the possession. Spain kicked the penalty and lead 12 points to 10.
We're singing Viva España again. Okay, it's Uruguay having to hang on a moment, but Kovalenko's kick spins straight into the arms of Perez, who too will kick cross-field, but straight into the arms of his opposite number, Ripoll. And this is great stuff from Spain. They've really got the bit between their teeth in this second half, and Frascilia there was to the fore. You were saying you wanted to see more of him in attack. Oh. Well, that was just unfortunate. Struck his own man, and there'll be a scrum.
Yeah, exciting. This guy's an exciting runner, actually. Good hands and 2 ball there. Looks for the space, looks for the support, but he is an exciting runner. We'll look for him more in the game.
Uruguay need to get that pack moving again. They dominated for about 20 minutes in the first half, and the pack really powered its way through. Oh, and the ball put down there. That's just what Uruguay didn't need. The guilty party is Rodrigo Sanchez.
Well, Aguirre there just put the ball not in the best position in the world, and unfortunately a knock-on there, and Spain have got the put in here on the halfway line.
Alonso. Malo! He's on the charge. Nothing Malo about him. He has been excellent again. And now, coming forward very much so is Jordi Camps, and the Spanish fans roaring their team on as they sense here maybe a victory on the horizon. Kovalenko with a long ball out. Spain with a chance. He's got to squeeze the pass away. Squeeze it away he does. But the referee says no, 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 as Sebastian Lobsens was preparing to celebrate.
Well, here we see the play here. Excellent play. Kovalenko throws the long pass. Here's the loop round movement. Oh, it was a judge forward there. Lubezens thought he was in for the try.
It's a very disappointed Lobsens. The wing Bastife first of all, and what a position to waste.
Well, it was a close call, that one, but the referee did adjudge it going forward. But what a swing in this game. Spain have suddenly found the confidence. Malo's had a great surge off the scrum there, fed inside with Soto.
And certainly Kovalenko has had quite a part to play as well, is his Spanish improvement.
Well, we were talking at the time, at half-time there, about Kovalenko. He kicked a lot of ball in the first half, but he's now come out onto the play. He's brought his backs into play, and as a result, we've seen a little bit of classy act here from the Spanish back division. And suddenly they've opened up the Uruguayans and put them under pressure.
Uruguay need ball. They need to be in the other half, but they can make a start here. They control the scrum nicely, then look to the boot once more of Aguirre. They look as though they're feeling the pressure for the first time in the game. Behind to the underdogs as we look at the line-outs one on the own throw, and the Uruguay at a percentage. The important factor here initially is to throw it straight. Uruguay will take it from the Spanish throw. Not seen as much of a Lemoyne in this half. Now we might see Aguirre though. Scrappy play, and they didn't read one another's lines very well there. So Spain looking to control it again through Kovalenko. Ripped down onto the deck hour by Brignoni. It'll be a penalty Uruguay's way. Just 2 points in it though, and that is the fascination of the contest, that they are so close. Who is going to collapse first? Well, now there's an opportunity for Uruguay, and it's got away by Aguirre. There's a man spare out on the left, and this is a great chance for Uruguay to get the ball out there to their left wing Costabile. It's the furthest forward they've been in a long time. Which way to go? He goes left to his hooker Lamelas. Spain hold on. But a good riposte from the South Americans.
Yeah, there was good play throughout this particular movement. But unfortunately, the scrum half, Sciarra was just bumped into touch there. Lost possession. But good play from Aguirre at fly half, number 10 for Uruguay. He's maybe taken a leaf out of Kovalenko's book from Spain. The whole game has actually opened up. It's a lot more entertaining. And certainly the crowd here are thoroughly enjoying this place. There's Aguirre there.
There's an old pal of yours.
There's Craig Chalmers, the former Scotland international. Desperately unlucky not to be involved in Scotland's World Cup squad, but obviously taking in the game and enjoying himself in the sunshine there.
We're all enjoying ourselves in the excellent afternoon's entertainment at Netherdale. Beautiful conditions in which to play rugby. And the two sides seem to be responding more in this second half, responding to the crowd, I think, too.
Well, what a difference it's made, actually, in the first sort of 10 minutes. Both teams are prepared to move the ball, and what a more exciting game we've got.
There goes that juggernaut pack again of Uruguay, and the arm is pointed in their direction. So that means they're head and ball.
Well, the front row will be pleased with that one. Lamelas will be celebrating. He's got one against the tight head, so great domination by the Uruguayan scrum again.
Are they willing to move it? Talking a moment ago about the frustration of Alonso. He's ordered every time to take penalties rather than run the ball. The backs always want to run it, and the forwards are quite happy to just plough on.
Well, we know that Uruguay got the pushover scrum in the first half, and again they'll reset again. They'll go for the scrum. Omachia, number 8, he knows the calls. He knows what he wants to do.
Uruguay have been thinking of making a substitution in recent moments, but the same 15 players are out there that started the game. And again, there's a player needing treatment. This, by the way, the 4th time that these countries have met. Uruguay have won 2 of the previous meetings and Spain 1. Now we can go ahead. Well, they definitely have an advantage there, but they've got to make it count, and they are making it count. It must be horrid to be in that Spanish scrum going backwards. Well, it's the same plot as in the first half.
Yes, Spain were guilty of actually taking that scrummage down, and no doubt the captain, Ormachero, will ask them to scrum again. They actually have got the Spanish team on the racks here, and they'll be looking for a second pushover, I'm sure. A lot of communication actually going on between Sciarra at number 9 for the Uruguayans, and also Aguirre. So who knows, it may actually get out to the backs.
We shall see. Up they come though. I think one thing that's been noticeable, Scott, though, the discipline's been excellent. It was something I was talking to the Uruguayan coach yesterday, Daniel Herrera, about, and he's very conscious that South Americans sometimes are regarded as not having the best of temperaments for international rugby, but they've kept their discipline well in this match. Yeah,
it's good to see, and I think the referee, Colin White's got a lot to do with that as well. He's been talking to the players constantly.
What to do this time? They'll go for the push again, but they're being held this time by the men in red. Same scrummage, same storyline once more. Will it have the same ending?
Well, Sanchez on the loose head there, he popped out the scrum. His head came out the scrum, so that means the referee's got a call for the scrum to actually be repositioned.
I think if all my chair scores again, he might as well announce his retirement. What a way to go out it would be. 2 tries in a World Cup victory, but it's not happened yet.
Now here's the front row forwards. Here he goes. Let's have a look at this scrum here. Well, the referee adjudging that the front row took that down. I just felt that that was perhaps a little bit of pressure there from the Uruguayans. But Sanchez certainly under a little bit of pressure.
They might surprise everybody by whipping it out all of a sudden, but for the moment they go for the pushover. Watch for the referee's arm to be raised. Not so. Another scrummage now. Oh, curses on the Uruguayan side. I think they really thought they were in there.
Oh, they'll be desperately disappointed there. Look at the ball at the foot there. Omachero, adjudged to have knocked the ball on there. Oh, he'll be kicking himself with that.
Riepel, I think, managed to just get a finger on it too to deny him. Scrum turned round there. Nearly wheeled all the way around, which can happen. So the referee is on the spot to award another scrum, and the ball in this time from Alonso. Everybody anxious to get on with things. Free kick given.
Well, I think they'll go for another scrum again. God, this is unbelievable pressure here from Uruguay. I don't think I've watched a game with so many scrums in it for a long, long time, but this is obviously where the Uruguayan strength is. We've seen them take the Spanish 8 over the line only, but a knock-on. And look at the infringements at the scrum. 9 infringements. Spain have been penalised in the scrum.
Could be a record. Certainly it's a fair enough ploy for Uruguay. They know where their advantage lies and they're trying to make it count. It's leading to 1 or 2 Spanish players going under the weather.
Well, we talked about this front row, Lamelas, the hooker of the Uruguayans, Limoni and Sanchez. They're obviously putting their opposite numbers under a huge amount of pressure. Let's not forget about the second row coupling as well, adding the weight through the scrum. It's a very competent set piece here from the Uruguayan team.
Well, they need a score because at the moment, let me remind you, they are trailing to Spain by 12 points to 10. Yeah, again it'll be Uruguay. The scrum, it must be horrendous for those Spanish forwards. Have you ever seen anything quite like this?
No, he's calling Malo over there. He's going to have a word with him. The referee's actually said to Malo that if Spain take down another scrum, it's going to be a penalty try. They're under pressure.
Enormous, intense pressure. Uruguay looking to regain the lead in a match in which we're going to have few tries. Listen for the referee's whistle. There it is. And it is a penalty try and under the post. So it's a clear 7-pointer here for the South Americans.
Chris White said if there was going to be another infringement in the scrum, he would penalise the Spaniards.
Well, it was easy to predict.
Huge pressure here. Look at the front row, there he goes. Pops up. Number 3 for Spain, Zapatero, just felt the pressure in the scrum. He came up, the scrum disintegrated, and the referee was quite right to award the penalty try there, because that was what, 8-9 scrums there before the penalty try was awarded.
Persistent foul play will be seen as, and Aguirre will take his 2 points, and it will move the score on into Uruguay's favour at 17-12. But they needed that because the longer the game went and they were 2 points adrift, the more difficult it would have been for them.
Yeah, well, Spain have got to recognise they've got to stay away from the scrummages. I feel they've got to move the ball. And Kovalenko here, who's just about to kick the ball off, he's important to Spain today to make sure he actually moves the ball a lot more.
We are going to have replacements coming on for Uruguay here. and for Spain too. And the newcomers will be Agustin Ponce de Leon and Nicolas Grige for Uruguay. And Spain's very tall figure of Oscar Astaloa is on, and so is number 22 Diego Fafosa. Mario Laume is one of the Uruguayans going off. He's just taken his scrum cap off, and also off for them is Nicolas Brignoni. A kiss and a salute. And it's all happiness on the Uruguayan side at the moment. As an old friend would have been saying, they'll be dancing in the streets of Montevideo tonight if it stays like this. So Spain are attacking this Fairydean end, where the local football club, Gala Fairydean, plays most Saturday afternoons, but not today. And Kovalenko's figured again in this movement. So is Lobsens now. Lobsens, one of those who plays in France, offside, given by referee White. Spain can hit straight back here, and they've shown an ability close to the line, which they try to build on now through Jose Diaz. Across the line, Kovalenko spins. He's never scored a try for his country, but he looks pretty fleet of foot today. Well, can Uruguay be caught out by Kovalenko? Oh, not a great ball, and the whistle's gone. Offside. And so Kovalenko surely will go for the 3 points.
Yeah, Kovalenko wasting possession here. This was a poor pass. A pass to no one, but the Uruguayans were adjudged to be offside, and Kovalenko has got the simplest of kicks here in front of the post.
Unlike Senor Quesada yesterday, he doesn't take too long over his kicks. There we go, 3 more points, thank you very much. And it's 17-15, building up very nicely.
Well, it's been close all the way through, and Kovalenko's just put his side very much in touch with the Uruguayans.
But they are supporting Spain. 2 points adrift. Catch this time is by Guilherme. Referee ordering the scrum half Alonso to stay exactly where he was, otherwise he would have been offside. There is Alonso now, who put Kovalenko into possession. Bastife fell on it. Now Kovalenko again. He's certainly figured much more prominently in this half. That's a towering kick. Seemed to touch the hand actually there of Lamelas, but he was allowed to just go on and pick it up. The crowd warming to this battle, and they've certainly warmed to all Mike Shea here, the 40-year-old. Uruguay now, the ball in the hands of Cardoso, and then out to his left wing, Costabile. Kick ahead, and the opposite wing, Bastife, is back there to boot the ball into the Heriot Watt University.
Oh, nice play there. This is a good run, good chip ahead, but there was nothing. Francilasi stood his ground. The referee adjudged it was accidental, and as a result, Spain concede the line out in their own 22. Well, we've talked about the domination of the Uruguayan scrums, but they've also been dominating the lineouts as well.
Here comes Fernando Sosa Diaz, who is going to replace Chiara. So the third of the Uruguayan substitutions made in the last 5 minutes. Share this afternoon. But there's that familiar drive from Uruguay, and this time the referee's whistle brings yet another opportunity for them. Will it be a penalty? There was a punch thrown apparently in there. You might see it here. There we go. Oops, that's the boy. Well spotted by referee White. Jose Miguel Villiao was the pugilist. I think the fans they would love to see a try. We've only had the one so far this afternoon, apart from the penalty try, of course. It'd be nice to see the backs get into it.
Well, you don't need a crystal ball to know what Uruguay are going to do off this scrum.
So close. Same scrummage. Well, it's quite incredible that time in the opponent's half. 2/3 of the match has been spent in the Spanish territory.
And I think that majority of time has actually been spent scrummaging.
I can say about 10 yards out. It's a good job they've been practicing this particular art of the game. Oh, and at long last, there is relief for Spain, to the horror of the Uruguayans. They've wasted all that time. Well, one more score for Spain would be good enough for them. They're only 2 points behind. And if anything, they've had the cleaner breaks. Play on, says the referee. Play on they will do. It was... the man driving on was Zazufa. Penalty for Spain. A lot of penalties in this game.
Yeah, there's been a lot of play on the deck, but Alonso at scrum half for Spain, he's been very enterprising. They've got themselves out their own 22, and Kovalenko's going to kick for touch.
He's not going to find it. Oh, well, the ball put down. Well, that was a fumble they certainly couldn't afford there from Martin Perez. Not the best of kicks from Kovalenko either, was it?
Well, it's not exactly textbook either. That an error there, but he's been good under the high ball to date, apart from that error there. But Spain's showing plenty of enterprise in this game to stay within it.
Yes, they are. That goes from Alonso, picked out by Malo. Well, he was in front of the player there. Malo looks horror-stricken, and so it will be Uruguay's ball here as they attempt to make another double substitution. So 5 of the replacements on already. Going off this time will be Diego Lamelas and Pablo Lemoyna. And coming on, numbers 21 and 22, Guillermo Storacci and Francisco de los Santos. Constantly changing personnel. The hooker and the tight head prop both changed. Uruguay needs some more inspiration, but they have the lead, remember, albeit by just 2 points. Catch made by Freshilha. Runs straight into the shoulder for Perez. The Uruguayans coming up quickly there as Enciso got his pass away.
Oh, I really felt there that Enciso made the wrong option there by putting his outside backs under pressure. Uruguay had more men in the tackle and the contact situation, and Uruguay won a very important scrum here. Here we go, Enciso decides to run the ball, throws the dummy, and there's only 2 players out there for Spain, and well wrapped up there.
Such Such a familiar pattern to this game at the moment. Uruguay driving forward, not showing a great deal of ambition to get the ball out to their three-quarters. But they do have the wisdom of and the advantage of a 2-point lead. They can just hold on to maybe. Now they might encourage somebody to come in from the back line. It was a forward pass, however, as it went to Costabile. Well spotted by the referee. The manoeuvre just seemed to go all wrong.
It's awfully slow ball here. Here's Aguirre. Just poor lines of running there. Costabile coming in off his own wing to take the contact there, but he was ahead of the ball.
The pass got away with one or two things they certainly won't get away with in their next two matches. If you look at the scrums there, advantage very much to Uruguay. Spain have it. They need some inspiration. Kovalenko maybe the man to provide it. He kicks ahead. He was taken out of the game as he did, but coming back to fall on the ball is Perez. Spain ordered to let go by the referee. So always they're willing to accept the ball on Machea. Revelling in his first World Cup finals match at the age of 40. Over the top from Aguirre. Kovalenko got in the eye line of his own man Cardoso there. And that was not good play. So twice there's been too many cooks. Just managing to hold on to the ball with Sanchez. It'll be fired out to the left, surely. The score here, maybe. And the man who's made the break is Cardoso, and Cardoso races over for what may well be a clinching score for Uruguay. Alfonso Cardoso scores the best try of the match by a million miles. Lovely play.
Well, at last they opened it out. That was a good play. But really, the mistake actually came earlier on, but super pass here and misses out. And Cardoso shows a great turn of foot there, rounds his man. And he's got the space and the pace to dive for the corner. Great try. Interesting enough there, it was Perez who gave the long pass there. But also in that particular movement earlier on for the Uruguayans was Sanchez, the prop. He was playing fly half.
But he skated round Ripoll, and with a moment to savour from the game, and Uruguay have edged themselves into a 7-point advantage, the best they've had for some time.
Well, the try actually came from a mix-up from Francilla at fullback, and also Kovalenko, who spilled the ball. That allowed Uruguay to actually gain possession.
Spain are preparing to bring on Alfonso Mata, number 8 forward. This is the most difficult position of all for a left-footed kicker. Dreadful angle for the left-footed Aguirre. Well, they're asking about bringing a new kicker on at this stage. It is a horrible position for Aguirre, who's left-footed, to take the kick, and they're just asking the referee if it's possible to bring on somebody else to kick the goal, presumably who's right-footed. If you're picking up what the referee is saying, but he's asking the doctor to check whether somebody is fit or not. This is a very strange occurrence. The number 16 for Uruguay there is Juan Menchaca. What's happening is that Diego Aguirre has said that he's got an injury and is not fit to kick the ball, and yet he's the man over there charged with the responsibility of taking the conversion kick, and they're asking if somebody else can come on to replace him at this stage, and the referee has said yes they can, and a substitute is going to come on And presumably his first action will be to attempt to add 2 points to the try. Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well, that's pretty unique actually, but that means with Aguirre going off, he's off for the rest of the game. So Uruguay will have a new fly half by the name of Menchaca.
Close, Scott. Menchaca. Can he kick goals? We shall soon discover. There's some substitution if he does. He's got the height. It's not quite got the angle. Well, it would have been a dream introduction for him. But Uruguay will settle for the try that they scored through Alfonso Cardoso. And he's given us a magical moment. That was the confusion there with Kovalenko and Frashilia. And then when it was fired out, Sanchez, and then into the line came Cardoso, and he left them for dead. Excellent score. Spain have brought on Alfonso Mata in place of Jose Diaz. But is that the turning point of the match, Scott? That's right.
Well, I really feel as though Uruguay have really got to wrap this game up because Spain are almost out of it, but Kovalenko will be wanting to get... I just feel that Spain have actually just got to start moving the ball and look for space.
They have the ball. It wasn't straight. It is a problem, isn't it, at this World Cup? The lineouts have to be straight. They're going to be pretty strict on that one.
Yeah, it was right down the Spanish side there, and the referee's got no other option but to give Uruguay the option of the scrum or line out again. And of course, Uruguay have gone for the scrum.
What else would they do? They've been interminable, but at long last they are running it, and they're running it with some confidence. Oh, that's a shame that the whistle goes there, because good advancement had been made by Martin Mendaro, whose nickname, by the way, is Tickler. Oh, that's too much about that. Now there's Spain coming back sharply. Excellent play from them, involving Ripoll. And then his centre partner, Enciso. Still, the sun's still shining over Nethervale here in Galashiels, but is there anything for Spain to mark their day? No! It's an interception here, and Uruguay may well be on their way to another score, and it's the substitute who's been on the field a matter of moments who is going to score it, and he flings himself over the line for the glory, and Juan Menchaca scores and raises his arms to the heaven. He can't believe it. Uruguay are home and dry. And what's a substitution?
Well, Pavlovo passes the ball. Number 12 there, Lubezens and Menchaca, who's only been on the pitch literally less than 5 minutes, sprints almost the length of the field to score a try, and undoubtedly the try that wraps up the game.
That's what he thinks about it. Well, he was in the right place at the right time, and there's nothing more despairing for a big forward like Cardoso than to have to chase a man like that, knowing you're never going to catch him. Well, I think we can say that Uruguay have won the Battle of the Minnows, which is what these two are regarded as. They were expected to win, especially in the light of a recent triumph over Spain and Italy. Now, can Menchaca complete his day? Dreadful angle for him. Good kick, but it's going the wrong side of the uprights. But he won't care too much about that. He knows that try is going to be replayed a time or two in Montevideo tonight.
Well, here we are. We've got Kovalenko feeds Lubezens. Here's the man, two hands under pressure, puts the wide ball on. It didn't reach Bastide on the wing there, and number 16, the replacement, Menchaca, scores a great try to literally seal the game for Uruguay.
There's nothing more spectacular than an interception try. demoralising for the opposition, but Spain trying to lift themselves again here now. Kovalenko has been neat in everything he's done, especially in this half. Lending his weight to this move is Jordi Camps. Kovalenko again, right to his left, and the despairing boot of the Spanish player. Castellar was the last act of the game here. International rugby has arrived at Netherville with a victory for Uruguay. And no one celebrating more than Diego Omachea, the captain, who got them on the score sheets with a try in the first half. But the abiding memories of this match will be the try scored by Cardoso and Menchaca in the latter stages of the game. But Scott Hastings, I think Uruguay ran out deserved winners in the end.
Well, they did, and obviously the pressure that was told in the Uruguayan 8 on the Spanish 8 was the foundation of a very, very good victory today. And quite honestly, what a super game of rugby we had, and it certainly sparked a few ripples of applause throughout the ground here with that second half performance. I felt sorry as well, though, for Spain. I felt Kovalenko actually went ahead and opened up the game a little bit. It was entertaining, and it was the Uruguayan strength up front that resulted in the victory.
Final score at Gala Shields in this Pool A match was 27-15 in favour of Uruguay. But I think that Spain did themselves credit and were always in touch with Uruguay until those late scores from Cardoso and Menchaca. Alberto Malo may well be signing off after this World Cup, after a distinguished career for his country. But he's on the losing side today, just as he was 5 weeks ago when Uruguay won by 20 points to 3. The Scottish crowd are going home in good heart. They've seen some World Cup rugby here in Gala Shields, and a deserving success for the Uruguayans. It will be a lift for them in preparation for their next game, which is against Scotland.
Well, what a daunting task that's going to be, with Scotland having come out their game against South Africa. But this, in many respects, was a game between two sort of new nations to world rugby. Spain and Uruguay have produced a great performance here at Netherville this afternoon. It's been interesting to watch them play. I felt that Cardoso at full-back for Uruguay scored a marvellous try. Great lines of running from him that really just turned the game. And obviously when Aguirre went off, Menchaca scored that interception try that proved absolutely crucial. But overall, Spain contributed to the game today. They actually proved very capable runners of the ball. Kovalenko moved the ball well. I thought Malo, number 8 captain, was outstanding, but we keep on going back to that Uruguayan number 8. They were out, the full 8 forwards, they were outstanding. And then Omachea, they had a captain who obviously held his troops together well.
Well, the crowd here thoroughly enjoyed this occasion. Spain 5,000 to 1 no-hopers for the World Cup. They were never going to win the William Webb Ellis Trophy. Uruguay have won what they describe as their World Cup final. Los Terros, 19th in the world, their first time in the World Cup finals. They only qualified by the repechage final, having beaten Paraguay and Chile, Portugal and Morocco, but they lost to Canada, the United States and to Argentina before that final win over Morocco brought them here to Scotland. And they've been here all week preparing, and they've been very buoyant in training as well, saying just how much that they were glad to be here, enjoying the occasion. And that Uruguayan flag will fly very proudly this evening. A World Cup final victory to celebrate. Their football team has had some fallow years, failing to qualify for the last 2 World Cup finals since 1990. Let's have a look at the way Uruguay have sealed their victory. That was the ball that was flung out there by their replacement, Sosa Diaz. Then coming into it was Rodrigo Sanchez, and the Spanish being punished here for a bit of a mix-up in defence between fullback Frashilia and Kovalenko, and eventually it was the fullback Alfonso Cardoso who was on his way, and there was no way that Ripoll could get to him, and that was very much a turning point in the game. Fine score.
Here we see the second interception try here. Just Lubezen's under pressure there. He throws the pass. And Menchaca, the replacement number 10, he sprints the length of the field. He did very well. He used the space. He touched down in the corner. And he'll remember that moment for a long, long time to come.
And what a lovely way to sign off it was. So it's victory for Uruguay over Spain here in a finely fought match. They've won by 27 points to 15.
Pablo, you must be absolutely delighted recording a victory for Uruguay in Rugby World Cup.
Sí, fue fantástico. Entrenamos 3 meses para esto y se dio. A lo último se hizo un poco más fácil, pero el partido fue bastante duro y difícil durante los primeros 40 minutos que tuvimos viendo en contra, y los segundos 20 del primer tiempo creo que fueron muy duros. Después el partido fue saliendo.
It was a very difficult game for you, and at one point you were 12-10 down, and then a controversial penalty try.
Yeah. Cuando estuvimos en esa situación, el partido lo supimos llevar y creo que eso fue lo que nos dio la victoria.
What will this mean to the people back in Uruguay tonight?
Creo que va a ser una gran noche, tanto acá como en Uruguay. Yo creo que en todos los clubes de rugby se va a disfrutar mucho de esto.
And now looking forward to playing Scotland and South Africa.
Sí, capaz que se da un buen partido contra Escocia y capaz que un pequeño susto en Murrayfield. Y Sudáfrica hablaremos la semana que viene.
Okay, well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.